When I was 7, I had a friend who was the complete nadir of social anxiety. Genuinely, he could not talk to anyone to save his life. And I couldn't even help him in any way. I couldn't empathize with him because I've never struggled with that problem. I've never actually been fully like a really extroverted guy, but it's very difficult to be in a situation where you can't even ask somebody for a pen. That's like the very few people in this world. Complete social anxiety. I can't even stress this enough. And I've learned a lot about being social these past few months. So I suppose in contribution to him, and for anyone else who maybe struggles with this, or just anyone who wants to be more social in general, I want to give you some of the tips that I've learned that will completely rid you of your social anxiety. Before we get into this video, I just want to say, if you want to speed up this process of becoming like this extroverted guy, then you can check out the only link in the description. It's my social protocol, a set of steps and rules that I have composed that gets anyone from level 0 social skills where they can't talk to anyone to level 2 where they can talk to any man at any time, no matter what. So if you've ever been to therapy, I want to say that was the most idiotic decision you've ever done. Fuck therapy. If you've taken therapy, you made a mistake, you wasted money. Therapy is a scam, and if you've taken therapy, I'm telling you, bro, what I'm about to give you in this video is so much more helpful than therapy. Give up on therapy. If it hasn't helped you thus far, it's not going to help you. If you're considering it, it's not going to help you. It's useless. These therapists, these doctors, they're completely useless. They can't even talk to people themselves. They don't even have a social life. Complete retards. So don't take therapy. Screw that. It won't help you. The amount of people I've seen who have been on therapy for years and haven't seen any improvement, it just doesn't make sense. Now, of course, if you've maybe taken it before and it has really helped, maybe, sure, on the very uncertain occasion that it actually did help you, sure. But for 99.999% of the population, therapy is a complete waste. Don't take it. I'm going to give you advice that will be so much more helpful. And to be honest, I mean, I should be just promoting my own content, but literally most, if not any other social YouTubers' advice and videos would be more helpful than therapy itself. Therapy is a complete no-go. Now that we know that therapy is a scam and it's useless, I want to give you exactly the description that I've learned of social anxiety. Now, I normally use the term approach anxiety in my videos, and there's a difference. So social anxiety is like any social situation is just petrifying to you. You just don't want to do it. You feel complete dread. It's just like mentally impossible. And approach anxiety is what most people face. So most of these level zeros, these social NPCs walking around, like just 90% of the population, you can't talk to people. These people have approach anxiety where, like, they could ask for a pen. If the situation called for it, they could talk. But it's just very difficult to, like, social standards, the expectations that have been bestowed upon them by other people, by society, by the elites. They just can't really talk to people. It's just strange. It goes against everything they've learned. So they feel this anxiety, this strange sense of fear when it comes to approaching somebody. So unless there's an actual reason to go up and talk to someone, they won't do it. Social anxiety is like the severe version of approach anxiety. It can be fixed. I truly believe that. Social anxiety is an inflated sense of self-importance. And you may not want to hear this, but just listen, because I truly believe that if you watch to the end, you will completely solve this problem. So you need to understand what social anxiety is. before we try and fix it. You need to understand your enemy before you just defeat it, right? Social anxiety is an inflated sense of importance, like narcissism. You believe that everyone is paying attention to you and judging you, and everyone is looking at you. No one else. No one is looking at anyone else. Everyone is paying attention to you. You're the most important. You matter so much. That's what social anxiety is. You believe everyone cares about you so much, and you believe this in a negative light. So for example, I'm a narcissist. Not really. But with the terms and how easily, how whimsically people throw this term around, I'm a narcissist. I care about myself. I think I'm important. I think I'm destined for greatness. You may hear this and cringe. Fair enough. But if someone were to hear this, they'd immediately say narcissist. I'm a narcissist. Okay, so I'm a narcissist. So because I'm a narcissist, you'd expect me to have social anxiety, right? But not really, because I'm a narcissist. However, I give myself affirmations. I'm a narcissist, but I say that I'm great and I'm amazing and everyone else is jealous of me and I'm the best and I have a great physique. And I say all of these positive things about myself that a narcissist would think. Yeah, I'm a narcissist, guys. And because I see all of that, even though I think everyone is paying attention to me, I think it in like a positive light. You think everyone is paying attention to you, but you think everyone is judging you and being mean and everyone hates you. I think everyone is paying attention to me and everyone is jealous of me. That's what I think. Is that true? Don't know, don't care. But because we have this fundamental difference in how positively we view ourselves, you're a narcissist and you don't use that to your advantage. I'm a narcissist and I use that to become more confident than ever before. So there are only two solutions. You either completely rid yourself of narcissism, and I don't know how to do that because, being a narcissist has worked the best for me. I don't know how to not be a narcissist. How do you make it so you feel like you aren't important? I don't know. Search that up if you want to pick that route. This video isn't for that. The tactic I recommend is to stay as a narcissist, but inflate how positively you see yourself to the point where you're still a narcissist like you currently are. Sorry, I'm just letting that sink in. I love calling random people a narcissist because they get the self-defensive, like, oh, I'm not a narcissist. Well, you are, shut up. Because you're a narcissist, here's what you can do. Rather than just removing your narcissistic traits and qualities, stay a narcissist, but inflate your own positivity about yourself. See yourself as higher than you are. Put yourself on a pedestal. Inflate how highly you see yourself, so that when you think everyone is looking at you and paying attention to you, you just end up thinking, wait a second, yeah, they are, but they are all jealous because I'm better than them. You see how this mindset shift ends up just completely changing how socially anxious you are. I'm going to explain exactly how you can do this. And I'm not going to give you the advice of, actually no one in the room is paying attention to you, everyone has to struggle with their own difficulties, don't worry, no one cares about what you're doing. Because, well, first of all, again, we aren't trying to remove our narcissistic traits. And second of all, people definitely care about what you're doing. That's complete bullshit. Like, everyone is paying attention to what you're doing. I hope you understand that. The only time people won't be paying attention to what you're doing is if you're an insignificant speck and you aren't doing anything like special at all. In that case, you're just an NPC, you're a loser, no one cares about you. Is that the life you want to live? Like, no one even pays attention to you because you're so insignificant. Like, no one pays attention to a random fly. Yeah, it's a fly. It's insignificant. It doesn't matter. If you're somebody who's at any level different, if you have a good physique, you have a primed chest and a built physique like stature, you have abs, people definitely pay attention to that. Some people will be positive. You have a nice physique, Vince. I love your biceps. Some people will be negative and jealous and feel envious. And they'll insult you. Yeah, you just want to build muscle because you're insecure. These little gay people who are fat. So people are definitely paying attention to you. But if you can turn that attention into like a source of motivation, I think that's genuinely what's going to remove your social anxiety. That's what I do, at least. First of all, you need to actually view yourself positively. And this isn't possible if you aren't somebody who can be viewed positively. I'll give you an example. I couldn't say I have a good physique if I never went to the gym and my biceps weren't this big. This is like the 4th bicep flex of the video. And I love doing this because I do bicep curls and I train in the gym and I worked for these. If my biceps were tiny, if I didn't go to the gym, do you think it would be possible for me to say, wow, I have a good physique? You think that would be possible? Of course not. You actually need to do these things, right? You can't say you have a good physique if you don't actually try and train your physique. You can't say you're healthy and you're disciplined if you can't even go to sleep on time. So you just need to be a healthy person generally. And there are steps to do this. It's just basic self-improvement. Go to sleep on time, fix your diet, to take supplements. I'll actually show you this right now. So my room is a little messy, but as you can see, I have tons of supplements here. I mean, they kind of look like fucking depression pills. But I have vitamin C, I have vitamin D3, zinc, I have an air purifier, I have all of these things. And the reason why is because, well, they do genuinely help you. Most people are literally deficient in all of these vitamins. So you need to be taking these things. And of course, if you don't want to spend money on that, you don't need to. But I heavily recommend that you do invest into some of these healthy things that make and improve your mental health. Because when you feel healthier, you naturally end up thinking less negative things about yourself. When you sleep well and you aren't always like in this groggy mood and you take supplements and you get a lot of sunlight and you feel healthy and you're breathing proper air and drinking tons of water and you're going to the gym and you're in the best physical condition of your life and you're journaling and you're meditating, when you do all of this, your mind just, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what the logic behind this is. I don't know. I don't have any studies on this. I'm saying this off of my own personal experience. When you do all of these things, when you improve yourself, you naturally end up thinking more positive things about yourself. And vice versa. If you don't do these things, if you're really unhealthy and you feel really bad all of the time, you feel negative. And of course, taking supplements isn't completely necessary. Like a lot of parents, they aren't really up to touch with how the modern world works and they just kind of make stuff up. They see you taking supplements and because they just seem unnatural to them, they immediately think that you're poisoning your body or you're doing something you shouldn't be, which you aren't. And there are studies proving that all of this is actually helpful for you. And of course, a lot of them will undermine how much you should take. Like some people say you should only take 1,000 IU of vitamin D3, even though in reality, it's actually quite healthy to take 4,000, like at least. I see people taking 10,000 a day, being completely fine, like doing it for multiple years, completely fine. But even just taking 1,000, a lot of people, like your parents, they'll tell you, you shouldn't do that, you're poisoning your body, you're too young for it. And of course, yeah, these people don't actually understand what these things are. They won't show any studies, they'll just say they are right because they are adults and you're wrong because you aren't an adult. And I mean, these people are very difficult to convince because they have pride, they have this unearned sense of arrogance, they don't want to admit that they are wrong. So it's fine. If you don't want to like struggle convincing your parents that, you know, Vince, this random kid on the internet said that you should take supplements and this is a study that proves that it's good, you don't need to. But just be a healthy person generally. Once you've improved your life, you'll start getting less negative thoughts and you'll start feeling better about yourself. But that's not enough. You need to genuinely, manually think positive things about yourself. If you're a bodybuilder and you have a good physique, most people have this body dysmorphia where they literally just think, I'm not big enough, I need to get bigger, all of this stuff. You need to literally go to the mirror and you need to manually say, I just worked out today, I have a huge bicep pump, again, flex, and you need to literally say that and feel good about yourself. Affirmations, that's what they are called. You need to go through your day and say, wow, I just meditated and I just read an entire book. No one else would really do that in my situation. I am the man. And when you do this, then you start priming your brain to still think a bit more positively. But even the top people in the world, like the people who you look up to, like vets, good physiques, seem all happy all the time, even they don't get like automatic positive thoughts about themselves at every single second of the day. Because I don't know what it is with our brains, but we just always want to think negative about ourselves and put ourselves down. It's weird. So this is something you need to do throughout your entire life. You need to manually think positive. Now, when you have social anxiety, you're already a narcissist, so it puts you into a very good stage to develop yourself. Because most of these other people don't have narcissism. It's very difficult for them to position themselves as higher than other people. And because of that, they kind of feel more approach anxiety. It's very difficult for them to go up to a random person because they may disturb them, because they see themselves as lower than the other person. Whereas you've inflated your self-importance. You see yourself as higher. So if you can just see yourself as more positive, which we've just talked about, fixing your life in general, then it'll be so much more easier for you to talk to other people, right? You see yourself as higher. If you're a king, do you think you care about disrespecting some peasant? So it's like this frame. And that means that once you actually get good at talking to people, you'll stay good and you'll be better than everyone else. But you do have to kind of start lower. Like if there are levels to talking to people, most people are level 0. You need to start at like level -1. But once you get to level like 2, which is where I am, you'll be better than me, if that makes sense. So at level -1, you need to do this thing called hyper-progressive overload. I talk about progressive overload as this thing where it's like a gym term. So you go to the gym, you don't start off with 100 kg bench press because your muscles aren't ready, you aren't strong, you aren't that guy. You start off with the empty barbell, push up, push down, you can do it 12 times, and then you can't do it anymore, you can't push it up, it's too heavy. The next day you go to the gym, you add 5 kg, you can do it for the same amount of reps, you're stronger. Next day, more kg, until eventually you add up and you add up until you can do 100 kg bench press. Now, because you're starting at like -1, rather than doing what I normally recommend, which is like starting off with just saying hello to people on the street, like saying hello and walking past, and then maybe after you get comfortable with that, talking to shopkeepers and, progressively overloading, going a bit harder every single time. If you can't just say hello to people on the street, then you aren't at that level where you can even do that. You need to start from even lower. So how should you start if you have social anxiety? Now, again, I've never suffered with like severe social anxiety. I'm not a professional at this. But I'll just tell you through my own intuition, I believe if you start off with just trying to talk to your own family, which you should be able to do, hopefully, if you can just start by talking to your own family, that'll be your beginning. And don't just talk to them like you normally would. Talk to them intentionally. Be louder. Have a clearer tonality. Use some body language whilst you're talking to them. Level up your skills. Gain experience points so you can level up. And then maybe you can go on some video calls with maybe some of your online friends. And that's like a new level. So they aren't complete strangers, but you don't really know them yet. So now you're kind of leveling up this skill until finally you can say hello to strangers on the street. That's what I think will be the most helpful. If you're literally at a level where you have no one in your life who you can talk to, you can't talk to your family, you have no friends, it's going to be very difficult for you. And I don't think there's anyone like that who's watching this video specifically. But if there somehow is, I recommend literally just calling up some like food place. Like not ordering food or anything, or maybe just doing that if you can't. Like progressively overload. So if you can't talk to people in real life, you have no friends, you have no family, literally just call some random fast food place, Pizza Hut, Domino's, and just call like the support on it and say, hello, can I order this, and try and talk a bit louder, a little bit clearer. I think that's also something that will help you a lot. Now, this is something that I don't hear people talk about, but testosterone is something that you need to optimize. Testosterone, I think you've heard of it most likely. It's like the manliness hormone. So it's the hormone that makes you more of a man. You're more risk-taking. You're louder. Maybe even a little bit more aggressive. You build muscle quicker. You grow hair more. That's what testosterone is. And when you have more testosterone and you're more willing to take risks, you feel more fearless. And I don't know how big this bonus is, but I do know a few ways that you can completely increase your testosterone. So first of all of those like pills that say it'll increase your testosterone, most of them are scams, don't do anything. Some of them will help you. I know a few that are a little helpful. I don't personally take them, so I'm not going to tell you what they are unless I did. But just give up on the pills. You don't really need them. What you do need is a proper diet. So you need to be taking 4 eggs a day, at least. Just take as many eggs as you're willing to take. 10 eggs is like optimum. I don't even take 10 eggs myself. I just take 4 eggs a day, every single day. I'm telling you, I don't know what's in them, but they just I'm not gonna get descriptive with it, but you'll notice the benefits of it. You will. Throughout the day, you'll notice the benefits of the testosterone that eggs give you. You also need to eat a lot of fats, because fats are like the one macronutrient that maximize your hormone production. So tons of eggs, tons of fats. I recommend taking fats from red meats. And if you do that, I guarantee your testosterone will increase, because when you do this, it's kind of like, well, first of all, eggs just increase your testosterone and fats do, but also it's like you're kind of eating this caveman diet that the most highest testosterone people in the world, like cavemen, tribesmen, the testosterone they had would be 5x, 10x the ones that the modern day people have, which is minuscule compared to them. So when you eat a diet like them, it kind of replicates their lifestyle in a way. Along with that, you should also just be in sunlight a lot. You should have friends who you can have competition with. So male friends where you go bowling and you both try and hit the entire strike thing and try and beat each other. And you're insulting each other. Haha, loser, you missed all of the bowling pins. I'll show you how it's done. And when you have this, your testosterone gets increased. Maybe in the gym, you have a gym partner who's saying, come on, puss, what the hell are you doing? You're a pussy if you don't get this rep. When you have competition like that, your testosterone does naturally increase as well. Another thing you can do to increase your testosterone is to avoid microplastics. Basically, the environment has been curated in such a way that literally everything you touch makes it so you absorb microplastics. So for example, the chair I'm sitting on, actually, let's reduce the height of this. Look, the chair I'm sitting on, this is made out of plastic, as you can see. Me touching this, I'm absorbing microplastics through my skin, which are decreasing my testosterone. That's something you want to reduce, how much you touch plastic. The foods you eat out of plastic, those have tons, especially if they've been warmed up in plastic. Even your Starbucks cups where this coffee touching, I don't know what the cups are made out of, styrofoam something, but there's plastic lining inside of those, and then there's hot water swirling around touching the plastic. That's also really bad. So the current statistic is that every single week we absorb around a credit card worth of plastic. So we need to reduce how much we touch plastic. Even these clothes, these are made out of plastic, polyester. these have plastics that reduce testosterone. Now you can reduce that by simply drinking out of glass or metal and not heating or not even putting your food in plastic containers. You can try and make your own coffee. Of course, there is a level to the point where, okay, well, I can't just avoid plastic for the rest of my life, right? Like, I mean, you still need to wear some plastic clothes. You don't want to just go out and wear cotton all the time. But for the most part, if you can limit how much you touch plastic, maybe just get a glass water bottle, maybe change how much you use perfumes, like perfumes also have bad shit in them. If you can reduce all of that, that'll help a lot. Also, things like your toothpaste, your deodorant, all of these regular household items, like hygienic items, those are also like made out of random shit that reduces your testosterone and also contributes to men being infertile. Like a very high percentage of the population now literally can't have children because of all of this shit in the environment. So get toothpaste without any fluoride in it. You can look at what like deodorants you can get. I wouldn't stress about it too much. You can reduce how much you touch it, but like don't get all stressed about it or anything, because then your general health will just get worse because you're just focusing on something that can't fully be avoided. So just kind of keep this at the back of your mind. Now, even your tap water, it doesn't have microplastics, but it has like, so most women will take a pill, and that pill, like birth control, to not prevent them from getting pregnant so they can have casual sex. They'll take this pill and then they'll pee it out into the toilet, and your tap water and your toilet are connected. So normally like the toilet water gets filtered into your tap and it's clean, but your filter for your regular tap doesn't actually filter for birth control. So you're drinking birth control water. I know. So what you need to do, now this is like a huge investment, so just do it when you're ready. You can get a reverse osmosis water filter, which will completely filter out any bullshit in your water. And once you do that, also remember to like put salt in it and put lemon in it, just so you still get electrolytes, because it filters out literally everything. Something I also see some people do is literally just not drink tap water and drink like from coconuts or something. So that's another option. But the thing is, then you still sometimes want to cook with water, because it works as a pretty good startup for any stew that you want to make. So that's of course an optional thing to do. I think the reverse osmosis water filter is the best possible investment that you could actually put into your health. Of course, there's also other things, like there's this thing called an asleep mattress cover, which basically makes it so when you sleep, it automatically detects how high your body temperature is, how low it is, and it adjusts the temperature of the bed using this weird, complex, intricate cooling system. So you always stay at the optimum temperature for sleeping. But it's also quite a hefty investment, and it's something you should think about before getting, unless you can afford to be like more lenient with your spending. These are all of the things that I learned through like my months of being social that will completely rid yourself of social anxiety. And again, if you want to speed up this process, you can check the only link in the description, the social protocol, which is from level 0 to level 2 social skills. I hope this helps, and remember, consistency is over a lifetime. Bye bye.